Hey, it's Mr. Johns. Welcome to our episode 4 of our Minecraft side-scroller in Scratch tutorial. By the end of this tutorial, we should have our game looking like this, where our character moves left and right. If you listen carefully, there also will be some background music, which is from Minecraft. And he does not automatically climb up walls. You have to jump to get to the top of the wall. In addition, if you were to land in the lava, he makes a dying sound, it starts over, and then the music starts over as well. Okay, so that's where we're headed in this episode. So we have a lot to do. Let's go ahead and get rolling on this. So, let me stop that so we don't have that music. The music gets louder and louder, which is called a crescendo. So it crescendos for you musicians. You're familiar with that term. And let's go ahead and get going. At the end of last episode, I was having issues with my character. Let's hit start. My character was floating back down to space. To ground, floating back down to the ground, going up to space. And if I held down the up arrow, it would just keep on going and pretty much stick to the sky. So as a matter of fact, he won't even come back down. Like, hello. So you have to hit stop and then go again. So that's not going to work. And here's the fix. For those of you who are following along exactly with my code, this is what your code should look like by now for the player. This was from last episode, so if you're not quite there yet, you can pause it and get caught up. I'll scroll down again so you can get more. You can pause this and get caught up. I usually do it by block, so each one of these would be one block, code block. And then here's our Y velocity block, which is where our mistake is, my mistake is, and then here's our restart block. So it is, excuse me, as simple as these two code blocks, excuse me, which don't look like they would do anything because they are setting something to 0, but setting something back to 0 is just as important as other numbers. This was supposed to be inside the repeat block, not outside of it. So it was not repeating. So if we slide that up there and then hit stop and then go, now you'll notice I've got normal and appropriate gravity, which is perfectly fine. All right. You can see that I run out of room here and I need to add some more ground. So that's one of the things we're going to do. We're going to add the music. We're going to add the dying option. We're going to add the dying sound, that wonderful, it's not there. We're going to add that. And then we're also going to fix the running into walls so he can't do that, which is just to climb walls. All right. So again, I'm going to use the... on my other monitor here, I'm going to use my finished level to work off of. So what we need to do is go to the very top and we have our when clicked broadcast play game. That's a great place to add our music. So with our player selected, and it doesn't really matter where we put the music necessarily. Some people put it under backdrops because that's kind of like for the whole game. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter, right? So sounds is kind of its own category, and I don't have any sounds right now for the player, so I'm just going to go ahead and upload. And if you haven't downloaded the files yet from episode 1, that's where you find the files. I have a link to my Google Drive where you can access all the graphics and the sound. So I've got two here. One is the Minecraft death sound, and the other one is this volume alpha Minecraft, and that's the one I chose. And you can definitely download another one if you find one you like better. So here it is, and if you want to hear it, you can click right here and let it play, and you can speed it up, you can cut parts out of it, you can do some customizing here. But this one already has this crescendo, and then it gets quiet again at the end, so you can't really do a lot like fade in, fade out. It already is kind of set. So all right, once we upload that, let's go to code and then we can simply go to sound and we can play sound. And you have a couple options. One is to play the sound until it's done. The other one is just to play the sound. And then the third one is stop all sounds. Okay, and then there's some custom things down here. Change the volume, change the pitch. You can do some weird stuff with the sounds if you want to. So this is the correct sound right here, Alpha Minecraft. And so it should, yeah, you can barely hear it when it first starts because it's really quiet. So let's see if I can turn my volume up so you can hear it there. Okay, so we've got that in. That's all you really need. There will be some conflict with that when you die, and I'll show you how to fix that. Okay, so we are going to go down to our second code block right here, and the thing that we need to change here is we need to add a couple things we don't have yet. So one is a variable. We're going to call it game state, the state of our game. Okay, so just type in game state. So this is for this sprite only. Click OK. So you're going to end up with a new variable called game state, and we're going to throw it into a repeat. We are going to do it right underneath the restart command. So we're going to have a repeat until right here. All right. So repeat until not game state equals playing. Okay, that sounds like code language, doesn't it? So not, we need a not. So repeat until not, now we need a equals. So grab a operator equals right here. So not equals. And then this is going to be a game state. So that's the variable we just made. Put it here. And then this, we're going to type in the word playing. So when game state is not playing, we are going to, I see one mistake I made, and that is we still need that forever loop. So we're going to put the repeat inside the forever loop. Okay, so copy this. Set level to 1, restart. Forever repeat until not game state playing, and then we want the update position in there, and then we're going to put that's pretty good, and then we're going to put one thing that we haven't created yet, which is a custom block called death. Run without screen refresh and click OK. I don't think we need anything else with death. So let me double check that. I think death is just death. Yep, it is. Death is just death. So we do have a definition we're going to have to do, of course. So let's grab this death command and let's put it right. I believe it's right there. Let me double check. So it is exactly right there. So I always like to define death right away. Define whatever I just created, we want to define it right away so we don't forget. So I'm going to find my define death, which is right here. So what happens when your character dies? Well, first we want to stop all the sounds. Okay, so that's going to help that song stop. It shouldn't be playing. Okay, so and we are going to also upload another sound. So go ahead and go to sounds, upload, and go grab the other one, the Minecraft death sound, okay, which is, ooh, that's pretty loud. And I thought it was too loud, so I made it quieter in the game. Okay, so it is uploaded, so we want to stop all sounds and then play the death sound in that order. So remember, code blocks play top to bottom. All right, so then we're going to do a stop all, and we want to stop other scripts in this sprite. Okay, so nothing else can happen when he dies. No other animations, no sounds, just the death sound, but nothing else happens. Okay, and then we're gonna repeat and we just want to repeat with a number here, and we're going to repeat. What we're going to do is make him flash, and we could get fancier and make him explode or something. And maybe later I will, but for now we're just going to make him flash 3 times. That's kind of the standard, like boop, 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 you die. Okay, something kind of simple. So after he flashes, well, part of the flashing, I should say, is hiding and showing. Hiding and showing. So that's what flashing is, right? Hide, show, hide. No. Show, hide, show, hide. So we're going to hide, and then we're going to wait, which is a yellow. It's a light orange, actually. So we're going to hide and then wait 0.001 seconds. Like really just boop, boop, boop. We're going to try to make it a quick flash. And you can play with that number to make it a slower flash if you want. And then we're going to show. Okay, and then let's go ahead and I might as well copy this right here. Duplicate. Sometimes duplicating is faster. So we're going to basically hide, wait, show, wait. Okay. At the end of this, we want to do a broadcast. Still trying to remember all the colors for some of this stuff. I think that's light yellow. Broadcast, yep. We're going to broadcast play game. So basically we're starting over, right? So you die, flash, flash, flash. Broadcast, play game, start over. And then we want to, now remember the music up here is only when clicked. And I noticed this earlier. When it restarts, it wasn't playing the music. That's because I wasn't clicking the green flag. It was just restarting. So I also need to put that sound here so that whether you click the green flag or you die and restart, it should play that. Ooh. Okay, so right now we haven't told it when to die, so that's something that we need to work on. He can't just die. That was a little weird. Okay, so he should now, he does flash, but we need to tell it when to die. So we've got some other things to work on. Okay, so as we scroll, I scroll down more, we need to check our define update, which is this one. Let me go ahead and, I like to line these kind of all up. Right click, clean up blocks. Okay, here we go. So we got define death, death and define death, and then define update. I think this is just where we have go left, go right. And there's just a couple minor changes here. And that includes creating custom block. I think we're just going to call it Y and X. Define XX. So let's see. Define XX. Custom block. We already have one called Y. So we're going to make one called X and add one input. Run without screen refresh, click OK. So see right here we have an X and a Y. So we are going to need that here. So under our define update, we're going to get rid of that set scroll X to player X. We're not going to use that. Yeah, we are going to use that, but it's going to be moved down. So we are going to snap this here. Let's move these off to the side. We need, if the right arrow is pressed or D, then we're going to say, hey, X is 8. Okay, X is 8. Now, we're just simplifying things. We don't need, see all these two blocks are the same thing as this now. Okay, now we haven't defined it, however, so maybe we should do that first. So let's define X. Let's go down and define X. There's a lot that goes with that. Let's come back to that. I don't want to lose you here. So if you press right arrow, it should go X8. If you press left arrow, it should go X minus 8, right? left. Okay. Okay, and then we don't need, we're getting rid of these scroll X issues right here. And if you press up or W, and if air time is less than 4, set our Y velocity to 15 or 16. That's fine. Okay, perfect. And from there, everything looks good. Change our Y velocity by, here's where our set scroll X goes. We can snap this back in here. This is underneath everything. Set our scroll X to player X. Change our Y velocity by -2. Our Y velocity. And then we're going to change, let's get that out of the way. We're going to do another change. Airtime by 1. We're just going to reuse this because it's hanging there. So airtime just by +1. We're fixing our gravity is what we're doing right here. So this is that issue where he was floating down. This is going to fix it so he comes down quicker with gravity. So and then we're going to add our death right here. So I don't think we need those. Let's dump that. So if then, so if is, and we need a less than operator, less than, okay. So if the player Y, which is a variable, if the player Y, now this is, if the player's Y up and down is at what location, and I already did some looking around, -141 is about where is below the ground level, but it's not off the screen. It's about where I'm going to put some lava. Okay, there's several things we can do for death. One is when it touches a certain color, which might be smarter, but for now I'm going to just say, hey, if he gets below -141, he dies. So that means he'll only die if he steps off the ground into lava or into nothing, into space. But what happens later when he starts climbing up? How is he going to die up higher? I'll have to add some code that says, or if he touches a certain color, he'll die. For now, let's just get him dying with lava. That would be fine. So we're going to set game state to death. So set game state to, and just type in the word death. Okay. So here is your entire code block for the define update block. That's everything. And so far, that's not working because he is starting below at 141. So we're going to have to move him up so that he's on top of the blocks, which we'll do shortly. Okay. All right, so what we need to do is really just copy code until it works. Remember that a lot of times stuff doesn't work until all the code is finished. Okay, so we're just going to follow down the path and make sure everything is correct. So next in line is define position. No change to that code block. After that, we've got define Y velocity. So I believe we already had that. And I don't think we have any change to that as well. So that is basically airtime and Y velocity up and down, not touching the blocks. So that's jumping. And define restart. And I don't think we have change to that either. Yes, we do. We're going to grab right here at the bottom of define restart, we're going to grab a set game state to playing. Set game state to playing. Okay, because we're defining restart. So when you restart after you die, everything goes to 0 except for game state is playing. So if we have a dying, we have to have a playing. Okay, so remember we have a game state death basically, and we have a game state playing, and then go to 0, 0. Okay, awesome. Next up after that is our define X, which we haven't done yet. So we're going to grab this. And I normally would put it up there next to the X, but I'm going to put it at the bottom. just for convenience here. And this is a long block, so we're going to fill in some stuff, which is going to help a lot. Okay, so under define x in this box, we're going to right click and edit, and we're going to type x inside that and click OK. So we want define x, x. We're going to change player x by x. There's a lot of x's here. So it's a change. Okay, it's an orange variable. We're going to change our player x, which is the position of our player, left, right, by, and drag it from here, by x. Okay, some math going on that we don't have to understand. And we're going to grab a position and put it underneath there. And we're going to have an if-then statement. If-then. And remember, this is a big block. So if touching blocks, then, so we need a touching, which is a sensing. If touching, right there, and we call the ground blocks, then, and we need to repeat, just a simple repeat. Okay, right there, simple repeat. We're going to repeat this 8 times. And we're going to say, hey, change player y by 1. That's that variable again. We use this one a lot. Change players y up and down by 1. Okay. And then we're going to do another position, which is that custom block called position right underneath there. And then an if-then, another if-then. So you can see how there's a lot going on in coding. A lot of loops that are inside of each other, and it all has to be exact or it doesn't work, which is why it is totally okay to be copying code, using code that you know works when you first start coding. So, and then you start just playing with it and customize it. Also, you know, I've been trying to keep my videos to 20 minutes or less, almost impossible. There's a lot going on, and you know, I've been a teacher for almost 30 years, and my classes are 45 minutes long. Almost no matter what I do, I end up with videos that are about 45 minutes long. So it's kind of what I feel is a lesson. So I try to go fast, and I try to make it shorter. All I can say, and even my first 2 episodes, I cut one in half. That's what that was. And I realized, yeah, I'm not going to do that. If you need to pause it, on your end, you can pause it anywhere. It doesn't really matter how long the episodes are, but I was trying to keep it shorter so that it kind of was a little bit more manageable for you guys and not so overwhelming. So I apologize for that. All right, so if not touching blocks, then if not touching, so we need an operator that is not. So if you're not, so we have if touching blocks, then do this, basically go up by 1. If you're not touching the blocks, that's a sensing, touching blocks. If you're not touching the blocks, then stop this script. Stop this script. Okay, so stop. All right, we're going to skip 2 lines. We're going to stay inside this if-then, and we're going to do a change player y by -8. Okay, which is the end of the opposite of this one. Change player y by 1, and then we're going to change it by -8. Okay, airtime by -8. That's going to bring him back down because we're changing our y up and down. Okay, all right, so another repeat. Repeat until, that's all we need is a repeat until this time. Repeat until. And it is inside. Don't put it down below, put it inside. We're going to repeat until not touching blocks. So a lot of this looks like repeats, and it is, but they're all doing something different. So repeat until not touching blocks. And we need an if then else, if then else, if then else. Okay, so if x is greater than 0, so we need a green operator that says greater than, and this is x, which is this one. the red X, if this X is greater than 0. So if your X position is greater than 0, which is in the middle, then change the player X. Change player X by -1. Else, or else basically, change it by 1. Change the player X by +1. All right, and then we need another position, which is our custom block called position, and that's going to go right there, right there. So there's 2 below it here. Count. So I usually count the bumps here. There's 1 here, and then there's 2 at the bottom. Let's see if this does anything. Okay, he died once now, so that's because he started down below. Gravity is good. We still haven't told it to die when it hits the lava, have we? No. So he can jump on lava. And here's a gap. I see a gap right there we need to fix. Oh, and there's 2 lavas. That's different. So we're going to have to do some coding for the blocks. Let's see if he dies when I run to the left and fall off. He should. Yeah. Okay, and that's exactly what should happen. He should die and then start over. So the music stops. It makes the die noise. He flashes 3 times, and he goes back to the location where he started. So it's not perfect, but we basically need to do some coding for the blocks to fine-tune things. And our last code block should be to find death, which, oh no, we've already covered that, right? We've already done that one. So fantastic. All right, let's switch over to blocks and make sure that we are up to speed on all of our code for blocks. Let's take a look at first this one. When I received play game, I believe we're good. I don't think there's any updates to this other than there's only 3 backgrounds. And so if we go to costumes, I'm not going to do this now, but I think it would be a good idea to make at least 3 more. My goal is to have 10. So I'm not going to do that now because it takes time. But I'm going to go make, in my off time, I'm going to make 7 more levels so that each level has 10 screens. It only takes, 10 seconds, 20 seconds to run across, depending on how complicated the levels are. And then you're just going to basically go back to your script and keep copying this, and each one will just duplicate it. Each one will say level 1.4, level 1.5, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so we need to work on that, and then let's check our define position block right here. Make sure we're good. I think we are fine here too. Yep. And then when we start as a clone, this one looks fine as well. So if that is all we have, then I need to figure out why. Okay, good. That's how it should have started. He does a little hop when he hits the wall. That needs to be fixed. He's not climbing the wall, but he is hopping. So I'll fix that next time, and because he shouldn't do that at all. He also should. Oh, I know what the problem is. The lava is not low enough. So let me hit stop. The way to fix that would be go to your costumes where the lava is, and I could either change the number, -141, or I can make the lava river a little bit lower. And I'm thinking it probably is easiest. I don't know. No, easiest is change the code. So here's what I would do. I would drag. I need to show. Can I show the lava level? No. What I'm trying to do is figure out the. Let's go to code and then motion, and I want to see how low. If I move him down, I'm looking at. 141 is totally wrong. That number is wrong. I'm looking over here at these numbers here. Go to my X, and I go to my Y. So it really should be interesting. I'd say minus 28, 30. Let's go minus 25. And let's just see if that works. So this is coding the player. We want to find the death code block. I don't know why I was so far off on that, but let's check it out. Where's death? Define X. Here we go, right here. That's interesting. If player's Y is less than minus 25, let's see what happens there. It's weird. Okay, still don't like that. But when he hits the lava, he should die. And see, it doesn't. The numbers don't change when we're playing live. So we have to stop, and you can see that is minus 11. I think that's where he was minus, yeah, he was at minus 11. So let's change this to minus 11. That's just so weird. I don't know where I got the negative 141. So he should die when he hits the lava. No. Why? See, it shows. Oh, I see where it does show. It shows right here. See where my mouse is? It shows his Y position. I didn't even think about that. But you know why? The coding says if less than 11, which means now is up. Let's see. No, is up. Is up more negative or less negative? Let's find this out. Grab him, hit stop, and grab him up. The number gets smaller. So if it is less than negative, I was thinking correctly. If it's less than negative 12, then he should die. So this is coding. You're trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work. He should go ugh and die. He's still at 12 though. And I just said if player Y is less than 12, then die. Let me check my working version, which I have running on my other computer. That's probably where I got my number 141. He dies when he hits lava, which is probably 141 over on this computer. So let's see. It is. Totally is. I don't know why. That's where I got that number. So weird. So we got to figure out why. The Y, because 0, 0 should be, why is it not? 0, 0 should be here. Oh, that's interesting. He died when I drug him up into the sky. Not the other way around. So it's just logic, and my brain isn't grasping it right now. So maybe it should be greater than. What if I did a greater than? If player Y is greater than negative 12 or 11, whatever. Nope. That is not correct. So if he's less than, yeah, what is that? It goes 12, 11, 10, 9. Is that less or greater than? Negative numbers. Isn't that less than? Less than 12 would be negative 11. Yeah. If less than 12, how about less than 15? I mean, it should work. Should work. See, when he falls off the left side, he dies, which is about the same height as the lava. No. I thought that was going to be easier. It's confusing me. So I'm going to go up to costumes for the ground, and I'm going to lower the lava. I'm lowering the lava, man. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to lower the lava. So I'm going to use the select tool, and I'm going to grab the lava, and I'm going to move it down, and you can see there is some little bit that I missed. That's okay. We're going to clean it all out of here. If there's any of it, because it's called lava, so if there's any of it left over, it will stop on it. All right, so let's see if it works. I'll be so happy if it works. Oh, there's white. Why is there white? Okay, it works, but there's white. So the sky isn't low enough. So it's a graphic thing. It's just the background. I need to make the background lower. All right, so a few things to work on in next episode. So otherwise, we're pretty much done. So we're going to work on lowering the sky or extending the sky. We're also going to work on the bounce that we have when he runs into the wall, so it doesn't bounce at all. Other than that, look at that. Oh, that's interesting. So we need to fix that also. When he jumps, after he hits the wall, he can shoot way up into the sky, which is a cool trick. And maybe I should keep that as kind of a Aaron, what do you call it when there's something hidden in a game?
Easter egg.
Easter egg. I'll keep it as an Easter egg maybe. So, all right, let's move on to the next episode. Stick around, and we'll touch base then. Mr. Johns is out.